जयति जयति भारत माता बुध गीता 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 निखिल मत वन निरतनत जन सुगीता निखिल मत वन निरतनत जन सुगीता निखिल मत वन निरतनत जन सुगीता जयति जयति जयति।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं दैवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. I place my humble salutations at the lotus feet of Saint Vedavyasa. This is the last session of the first chapter, the 13th session in all. In this video, I will be completing the discourse of this current chapter and recapitulating a few points that we have discussed. I will also be announcing a few changes that will be present from the next video. Let us go into the shlokas that are left and the meaning of them. Till now we have seen a state where Arjuna has been lamenting his condition, and he says, Ahobata mahat papam, we have done a great crime and we have not realized it yet. He says, Yadrajyas khalobena hantum swajana mudyataha. For the mere greed of getting the small kingdom, we were ready to kill our own relatives. Oh, how big sinners were we. Continuing on that note, he says, Yadimam apratikaram ashastram shastrapanayah dhartarashtrarane hanyuh tanme kshemataram bhavet. Oh Krishna, instead of me committing this grave crime, I feel it is better if all these greedy sons of Dhritarashtra, blinded by hate, launch an attack on me with both weapons and bare hands, while I unresistingly accept death. I will go to the meaning of each word, but this compiled meaning of surrender is something which shows us the state of Arjuna, completely represents his condition in a short way possible. Yadimam apratikaram ashastram shastrapanayah. Apratikaram means without following any laws of battle, in a random fashion, in an unplanned way. Ashastram shastrapanayah. The people who are armed and unarmed, let them attack me. Dhartarashtrarane hanyuh tanme kshemataram bhavet. In this battlefield, if those Dhartarashtras, the sons of Dhritarashtra, attack me and kill me, hanyuh means kill. If they come and kill me, tanme kshemataram bhavet. I think that would be the most comfortable and a very possible or a very convincing situation for me. It will generate happiness for me. That I think that will be the condition which will give me comfort. So he says, it is better to die than to commit this heinous crime. Oh Krishna, I would rather die, he says. And having said these words, Sanjaya, who has been dictating the incidents to the blind king Dhritarashtra, he concludes Arjuna's grief by saying, Evam uktva Arjuna sankhye Ratopastha upavishat visrujya sasharam chapam shoka samvigna manasah. Evam uktva Arjunaha sankhye. In the middle of the battleground, having said these words, what did Arjuna do? He sat down on his chariot. Visrujya sasharam chapam. He kept his bow down. He took out the quiver of arrows he was wearing, and he became a personification of sadness. Shoka samvigna manasaha. Some people's sadness is highly contagious and evident. When we look at a person, we can evidently say he is sad, and we can feel the sadness spreading into you also. This happens with many people. Sanjaya says, even Arjuna is in that state right now. He is so sad that a person who looks at him is also feeling sad. That kind of grief he is stuck in. Thus, in this chapter, Arjuna has mentioned all his doubts, regrets, grief, everything to the ultimate listener, the divine and the Paramatman, Shri Krishna, who notably has not uttered a single word till now. This is the quality of a good listener. We can learn a lot from the Bhagavad Gita, but specifically we can learn a lot from the characters of Ramayana and Mahabharata. That is why they are mentioned as epics. We have a lot of qualities to learn from them, either in a positive fashion or in a negative fashion. If you look at Sri Krishna, you understand how to face difficulties, how to listen to people, how to think calmly and composedly at the time of difficulty, how to face it with a brave heart. And when we look at Duryodhana, we learn how not to be, why we should give away greed, why we should give away jealousy, why we should not fall into the trap of greed and jealousy. When we look at Dhritarashtra, we understand any emotion must be guided by dharma. No emotion must be blinded. He is my son, whatever he does will be correct. That is not the proper way to think. That is my father, whatever he does will be correct. That is also not the way to think. Any emotion must be guided by dharma. But it is common understanding that a father or a mother who has only good intentions for their children will not commit any sin for the sake of their children. But this has been time and time disproved by the actions of Dhritarashtra and Kaikeyi in the Ramayana. So many cases where they, in order to help their children, they fell into the trap of something beyond affection, which we called moha, a negative attachment. So, from all these characters of the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, there are several values we can learn and unlearn. That is why they are so important and relevant even today. I will spend 2 or 3 minutes talking about Krishna because Krishna Jayanti is on the cards. It is today when the mighty, calm, powerful, friendly, yet a person who produced hell for his enemies and those involved in adharma, it was on this day he was born. So, in order to salute him and pray to him, we need to understand what Krishna went through in this Kurukshetra. He was the person who was responsible for the war to go on in the manner it went. Be it any person who was the commander-in-chief of the Kauravas, Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Duryodhana, Krishna is somehow involved in their lives and in their end, always. Sri Krishna also helped the Pandavas when they were in the forest, a quality which many of us should imbibe. Friendship which lasts when prosperity is there is not friendship. Friendship which is persistent at the time of celebration and mourning is friendship. Sri Krishna was equally friendly with the Pandavas when they were the kings of Hastinapura, and he was equally friendly with them when they were paupers in the forest. His affection and love for them did not increase when they became kings, and it did not decrease when they went to the forest. This type of pure emotion is very rare to be found. Also, Saint Tyagaraja, the patron of music, has celebrated Krishna in his own fashion in his Pancharatna Kriti, saying, Samaya Nikitaku Matalade, a person who knows what to talk at what precise moment. That is a very important quality for a person. He knows how to address whom and when. That is one of the qualities which we should learn from Lord Krishna. And then his dividends and understanding of dharma and karma. The entire Bhagavad Gita is evidence for this. Moreover, Krishna is a visionary for many people because of the difficulties he himself went through in his life. He never grew with his parents. The people who bore him were never there for him. They were in jail, in prison. But never did Krishna look at Nanda Gopa and Yashoda as foster parents. He gave them the love they deserved. He treated them as his own parents, despite knowing his own parents are trapped in prison. Never once did he show any form of distinction between Yashoda Ma and Devaki Ma. Both of them were mothers for him, and that is something very stupendous or something very surprising, astonishing for people of the world. These are perspectives of great philosophers who have read through Krishna's Charitra and celebrate him today. Another quality which inspires people all over the world is the way he combated all the difficulties that came to him. From the time when he was 1 or 2 years old, with the emergence beginning from Putana, hundreds and thousands of Rakshasas came to kill him. But he was unfazed. He dealt with difficulty after difficulty and never complained. He was also playful, childish. He also played very happily. Because these difficulties were there, Sri Krishna did not shut himself in a room and started thinking about his difficulties and how to win them over. He was very cheerful despite all these difficulties and despite knowing there are more to come. He did not put his grief upon others. He did not plunge into sadness like how Arjuna is currently plunged. He remained happy, calm and composed because he knew karma would eventually take its turn. He did not have a particular guru to learn from because he was a Gopala after all, a cowherd. But in spite of that, because of the system back then, which taught anyone, there was no distinction, he went to the ashram of Sandipani. He learned the vidya of archery. He learned the vidya of Vedas, Dharma Shastras and everything from Sandipani. And he was a loyal student to Sandipani. When he needed a Guru Dakshina of his son, he went and brought it, which is the story has been compiled in the Shankha episode, session 4. Again, he was a loyal friend to Sudama. He never showed a bit of ego. He was always respected because he did not expect it. Anywhere and everywhere Krishna went, Krishna was celebrated, but he never ever expected that celebration to happen, and that is why he was very happy for that happening. Whenever we expect it to happen and it doesn't happen, there is disappointment. But when you don't expect anything anytime from anyone, whatever happens is happy for you. It gives you happiness. That is one quality which we should learn from Sri Krishna. Another quality is perseverance. Once he takes up something, he never leaves. He was only 9 years old when he lifted the Govardhana Parvata with his single little finger. And this was because Indra kept sending rains, and Sri Krishna did not see any reason that where he had failed. So there are situations where Sri Krishna himself has apologized, where he knows he is wrong. Like to Gandhari, he apologizes. But when he knows he is not wrong, he will go to any extent and he will persevere to stand for dharma. That is one episode. Fearlessness in the episode of Kalinganartana. Can you imagine a small boy of 10 years dancing on the head of a snake in the Yamuna river? Dhenukasura, so many asuras. And then finally Kamsa himself. Then Sri Krishna was the mastermind behind the Kurukshetra war. I have explained this in many sessions till now, but without Krishna, Yudhishthira would have lost the war very badly. Of the Akshohini Senas that Yudhishthira had got on his side, the dominant portion is because of Sri Krishna, which I have explained in the previous sessions. He was crafty, he was smart, he was clever, he had presence of mind, but he never strayed away from the path of dharma. He was always in the path of dharma, and he helped the Pandavas defeat adharma by just guiding them, not participating in any event, just telling them how to do, what to do, when to do. And this Krishna Jayanthi, Krishna Janmashtami, let us pray for such a guide in our life who helps us achieve great heights in life by telling us where we lack, points where we need to improve, and give us recognition in points where we are strong. Let Krishna be with us all the time. With that note, I have just a few more announcements to make for the upcoming second chapter. The first announcement being there will be a change of title song. I will leave it to be a suspense for the viewers to enjoy the title song, the new title song that comes. Every chapter there will be a change in title song. The second change is that the video duration will be reduced to 15 to 18 minutes as per the request of several viewers. I will try to increase the number of sessions and make it shorter so that it is easy for the viewers to view it. The last point is, many viewers asked me if I can make a video where my face is seen. As a test phase in the first session of the second chapter, I will make a video where I talk live in front of the camera and record it. As per popular opinion, if it is attractive, I will go with that version. I will need your comments in the comment section regarding whether it is attractive, impressive. If it's not, I will go back to the version we are currently, but I will try to add more images, more scenes, more animation so that understanding becomes easy. For the second chapter, we have a lot of imagery to be done, and I will add those necessary images in necessary parts for the viewers to enjoy. With that note, I hope this Krishna Janmashtami, Krishna Jayanthi brings us prosperity, helps us out of this difficult situation, helps everybody in the world to achieve what they need, what they desire, and let the upcoming days be successful, happy and prosperous for us. Jai Shri Krishna. गोविन्देति सदा ध्यानं गोविन्देति सदा जपं गोविन्देति सदा ध्यानं सदा गोविन्दकीर्तनम् स्वस्तिः प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः सज्जनाः सन्तु निर्भयाः अपुत्राः पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अधनाः सधनाः सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदां शतम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्।